Alright guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about, should you buy a new truck for work or should you get a used truck for work? Now, this is a very controversial topic. There's a lot of negative energy out there, a lot of positive energy. A lot of guys will say it's not worth it to get a new truck for work because the costs and everything, it's better just to go used. And obviously there's a lot of guys that want to have the dependability and reliability of a new truck and advocate going for a new truck for work. So definitely very controversial. I'm going to dive into it and give you guys my opinion and leave in the comment section what you guys think. Try and keep it rated PG. A lot of guys get a little bit too excited and talk about the whole financing and all of that and the interest, and you're gonna be bankrupt or whatever. I don't really know what they're talking about, but let's talk about it in the comment section as usual, and I'll try to respond to everybody. So a little bit of the backstory. I bought this truck I think 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, something like that. This was a 2015, and I got it at the end of 2016 and the start of 2016, so the end of the year. So I got a little bit of a deal there going into the 2016 model. Even though everything was the same in 2016, it was still the steel body, it was still basically the same truck, very little changed for 2016. Yeah, the 2016s were a lot more money, so I went with the 2015. It been on the lot for about a year, and you know, it was built actually early in the year, and it just sat on a lot for a long time, and they wanted to get rid of it, and it was a good deal, so worked out real nice. The whole deal was about $40,000. So we got a plow. This is a Western Whiteout. This plow run at the time was about $6,800, and now it's probably a little bit more, I'm not sure, but at the time this plow went for $6,800 new. And actually, that's a whole nother topic, because when you see these trucks on the lot with the plows already on them, be careful of that, because a lot of times they mark up that plow a lot. The dealership that I go to, my salesman, he set me up so I'm not paying a huge markup on the plow. I got the plow for what the plow costs. So I'll do that in another video, and how to watch out for that. But yeah, so I got the whole deal. The truck was I think the MSRP was 36,000 if I can remember correctly, and then I had some discounts. I had the full A plan on it, because you guys know I work at Ford, and the plow was the out the door price. We rolled it all together for financing. At the end of the day, after all the deals and discounts, truck and plow together was $40,000 after everything, taxes, title, fee, plates, everything. It was $40,000. So the payment, I did a 0 down deal. I think the interest was kind of high, because I was this truck was my first new vehicle ever, and the payment came out to $680 a month. So it was a big jump for me. Before I had this truck, I had a 2004 GMC Sierra. It was paid off. Truck was paid off. It cost nothing monthly to own the 2004 GMC Sierra. But the problem with that truck was just the breakdowns. It had 140,000 miles. It had a lot of rust, and I constantly had breakdowns. And honestly, when you looked at the truck, it looked clean, but underneath, like the undercarriage and the brake lines and everything underneath was all rusted out. So what was happening is the brake lines would fail here and there, and then luckily we weren't on the road when it happened, but that's why, you know, I needed to make a move for a new truck. So I went and got this. To be honest, guys, when I first got this truck, it was $680 a month. I could not afford it. I could not comfortably afford the payment on this truck. It was $680. I never had such a big payment before. I wasn't making as much at Ford that I'm making now. The business wasn't making as much money, but I wanted to take advantage of the deal at the time, you know, getting that year-end savings, getting the full A plan, getting all the different deals that I had. I wanted to take advantage of it. And to be honest, you know, really looking at the numbers, trucks hold so much value that I couldn't beat going brand new. I couldn't go with a used truck and pass up on all the deals and the Ford employee discount. I just couldn't do it. And I really just didn't want to end up working on this truck. Like with the old truck, while it had no actual payment on it anymore, the amount of work that I had to put into it, like, I mean, we go out and do work and the brake line would break. Okay, that's 7 hours I spent one day fixing a brake line. Then your hub bearings are going out. Then your calipers are seizing up. Then your every night I was working on this car. I'm working at Ford. I'm cutting lawns after work, between work on my off days. I just couldn't do the whole mechanical repair thing anymore. So went ahead and made this deal. Going into the winter, I didn't have any snow plowing clients yet. Barely had any snow accounts. And I made this deal. So that year, you know, it was a somewhat slow winter. We used the plow mainly on just driveways, just back dragging driveways. And I don't know, we were only doing a couple $100s per storm, you know. So it wasn't too crazy. I mean, I think toward the end of the winter we got the thing up to like maybe $800 per storm. Maybe, if I remember correctly. But that is pretty much the history of how I got this truck. Now, fast forward to that next year, 2016, you know, going into spring, it really was a tough decision. I didn't know if I made the right decision, but basically what it did for me is it gave me the opportunity to focus on the business and to hire employees, to not have to deal with like the headache of your vehicle, like not dealing with all those repairs. I didn't have to deal with that headache, like, oh, the truck might not start, oh, the truck broke down. Literally, since we had this truck, there's been no breakdowns, no mechanical failures, none of that. It had one issue where it's burning oil, but it wasn't like you couldn't start it up and run. So there's never been a point where this truck has failed to go out and earn money. So that is one thing that I would like to point out. Because it was new, it just never had that occurrence where here I am sitting here, I got guys lined up, you know, and I can't go out and earn money because the truck will not start. So that's one benefit to going brand new. And 2 years down the road, this truck is still under warranty, and it still has not had a single breakdown. And we've been plowing, we've been out literally pushing snow, and this alternator has to carry all this load of this plow and all this extra stress, and it's just never had an issue. Never had an issue which would cost money or end up to lost revenue. So you got to imagine, you know, you got your older pickup and you go and start it up and your starter goes out. Now that's another thing, you know, I go out, my transfer case broke on the old truck, the starter went out one day on the old truck, you know, and I can fix all that stuff. I put a transfer case in it, I changed out the starter. But at the end of the day, when you got employees, you know, and they show up for work and it's not running, you're still paying these guys, you know, your hourly rate, you know, $16 an hour, $10, $12, whatever. You're paying them and nothing's happening, nothing's getting done. Your clients are wondering where you are. So, you know, really in reality, what happened is I really put everything I had into the business. I really put all my time, energy, effort into the business. And I can say that and I will be honest, things did not work out the way that I wanted them to work out. 2016, I went hard with marketing. I went hard with hiring employees. None of those people are still around. Some of those areas that I marketed to are no longer here. But I will say this, even though things didn't go as planned and didn't work out as good, I still brought in enough money to pay for this truck. So in my opinion, it was nice that I didn't have to worry about the stress of the vehicle aside from just the payment. And honestly, the $680 a month to have this truck is not a big deal, even when things are bad. You know, even when your lawn season's not going the way you want it to, that's okay. I mean, it's still not that much money when you think of the grand scheme of things. So I like the idea of a new truck. I'm honestly looking at trading this truck in, getting a fresh one, and getting a value out of this. While it does hold trucks, that's another thing. Trucks hold a lot of value. Nothing really, no other vehicle holds value like a truck. So when you're buying it used, you're paying a lot of money for something that's used. Where if you get it new, you got the new one, you got it when it's new, and a lot of that value is going to be retained. So that's another thing to think about. So, you know, realistically, when it comes down to numbers, when it comes down to what I'm doing, which is lawn mowing, and whatever you're doing, I'm not sure, you know, maybe you're in business, maybe you're not, but we're going out here and we're trying to make $1,000 a day gross, you know, and I don't want to have a breakdown cost me any part of that day or that whole entire day. You know, that truck needs to be dependable, and going with a new truck, we're really putting a lot of accountability. You know, Ford does not want their truck to not start, not run. Now, after 3 years and 36,000 miles, that sense of urgency for that vehicle to be dependable, Ford's saying, you know, you can expect problems at that point. But when you go new, you have the accountability behind you of a big company. And believe it or not, there's a lot of pride that goes into building these trucks, and a lot that goes into making sure they're dependable. Now, things still happen, and there's still problems, and no vehicle's perfect. Even if you go new, don't expect that everything's going to be perfect and you're never going to have a problem. But I think your chances of having a good experience are a lot higher when you go with a brand new truck. So when it comes down to numbers, you know, you're out there making $1,000 a day, you know, 4 or 5 days a week. It's worth it to have a new truck, in my opinion. You know, used is okay, but I think, you know, in all actuality, used trucks hold so much value that you're better off going new. So basically, the last couple years, the way it's been working out is, you know, the business has been successful enough to put a little money in my pocket and to definitely take care of this truck payment. And honestly, I've had 2 trucks. So working full time and having a business, the business easily pays for both trucks. It pays for my 150 out there, and it easily takes care of the F-250. And no, for sure, could not afford this when I first made the deal. It was a little bit tough for the first couple of months. But, you know, even that slow winter we had was enough revenue to cover this payment and to cover all my employees and all that stuff. Definitely worth the deal. Now, when things really start kicking the way that I want them to, the way that, no, Sammy, no. When things really start kicking the way that I want them to, and really start hitting some of the goals that I know that we can do, then this whole payment thing, this whole truck payment is going to be totally irrelevant. $600 a month, not a big deal. Now, I will say this. It's not worth it to get a ton of features. It's not worth it to go and get like a Lariat or like, well, obviously you don't really see too much of those doing work, but XL, super basic, no features is the best way to go. All the fancy stuff is not going to help you do any more work. Cameras and whatever, what have you. Those cameras are not going to help you do more work. Maybe a little. Maybe if you had those cameras that go in the mirrors and you can see, there's quite a blind spot down in on the passenger side that you really can't see. But aside from that, I mean, you don't need a backup camera. You don't need these windows, these big open windows is the best visibility while you're plowing, while you're plowing snow. You don't need those features, and that kind of stuff is not worth financing. It's better just to go with an XL, you know, in my opinion. It's better to leave all the creature comforts behind, go with the XL, super basic. It looks nice, looks professional. Your clients are gonna feel like they have a good company. They're not an old beater showing up, parking in front of their house and looks rough and makes them look cheap. You know, XL, you know, you don't need an XLT and all that stuff because the price goes up significantly when you increase that trim level. So definitely not worth going and getting a high-end truck, but definitely worth going brand new and keeping that factory warranty. So you know you can get a good dealer that'll do loaner trucks, that can have loaner trucks for you. You bought a truck, you can get a truck. Maybe if you get an F-150, at least you can still get out there and do some stuff. So yeah, for sure. Let me know what you guys think about this. I know it's a controversial topic. Let's try and keep it rated G, and I'll try to respond to everybody in the comment section. Anyway, thank you for watching. My name's Sean. Have a great day. Please subscribe. That's important nowadays. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.